Zombies in SpaceLand, a theme park oriented movie produced by the original character Willard Wadler. We have four unique and original characters, all with their own distinctive personalities clashing with each other. I generally find this to be one of the more wholesome and enjoyable maps. Their world building was unlike any other, and the fact that we get a whole cinematic before the game even starts is great. We're immediately thrown into these emotions of what's going on. We're curious and we want to know more. I think it's great that they decided to go on the movie route rather than just another, oh, there's an apocalypse, there are zombies, there's a new element. That's been kind of worn out with the Black Ops series, so they took a more non-traditional route and said, Willer Widler, a man dancing with the devil. And all of his movies, like the sausage being made, if you want to see it, go to the butcher. When this map first came out, there was a huge Easter egg grind. I mean, people really liked it. It was a giant map with 3 different sections, as well as an underground area where you could eventually buy stamina up, which in this game the perks were really good. Everything is oriented around the film. Not only that, but the map. You have tickets to earn prizes while you're there. When you get downed, you go to an arcade where you can do anything from skeet to basketball in order to revive yourself. Not to mention that all the perks are actually candies that you typically get in a movie theater. There is a lot to do here, and I think every run differentiates one from another. You have 4 original wonder weapons, all of which you have to use the map in order to acquire, and they're not easy whatsoever. In this video, I attempt to get one, but I mess up the steps naturally because I fucking suck at zombies and make a fool of myself. But it's still really cool that the wonder weapons are kind of round locked at 15. That way you're not just blitzing through zombies and not really having a fun or competitive experience. Right here is where the tide turns the cinematic and you see the type of guy Willard is. Making a blood sacrifice, giving up the souls of our original characters and players into the movie. They still keep it lighthearted though. They definitely could have taken a darker route with him, but the fact that it's colorized and animated still makes it lighthearted, something that people can enjoy without thinking it's too grotesque or crass. And right here, this is when the fun starts. I love this type of animation and theme. It's the retros 80s, 90s. They immediately throw some throwback songs on us that I was unaware of even existed, and I actually added some to my playlist. Look at how beautiful and distinctive it is. Every color points out something new and you just want to explore it. You're immediately thrown into this new world and you're wondering, when can I start? Where can I go? You see the ice peaks from the Arctic part of the map. That being my most favorite just because of the roller coaster, and you only want to continue to see what lies ahead. The fact that there's a different power box for each section of the game makes it fresh and that there's still something to do while you're in down rounds, and they're actually pretty hard to get. There is, of course, the identifiers being the electric bolts that show you where they are, but it's still not easy. A couple times in this video I had some close calls where I'm barely turning on power and then either I'm one hit or I eventually get downed. See here, we're not at round 1, but rather scene 1. They're really making us buy into the fact that we are in a film. Yes, there's a point to survive and complete the Easter egg, but you have to remember, this is all for the purpose of making a good movie. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. We've never really had this. Every zombies game is a little bit selfish, and that you're surviving for yourself and you're trying to get to a high round. Here, you're only trekking through the levels. You're only forwarding the movie that you ultimately end up sacrificing your life for. Here in the main room, by the way, my favorite place to train in, it's extremely overpowered. We immediately see the 3 themes on the map. That being arcade, Arctic, and jungle. Each with their own traps, perks, and overall themes. I love the fact, by the way, too, that the zombies are stylized to be 80s characters. It makes me wonder if he also sacrificed a bunch of extras who are zombies in the game. Not to mention the boss zombie in this game being a literal alien mascot. You gotta think he was a pain in the ass to sacrifice, but he definitely helps make the game a little harder. Even my character here, each one of them has their own unique melee, and the fact that the dorky dude just bitch slaps them is hilarious. Right here is where you see the first arcade game. and that's important to the Easter egg, but it's extremely hard. You have to end up training zombies. I believe the Easter egg is best completed with 3 people, because not all the wonder weapons are necessarily strong, and you don't necessarily need all of them. Parts are littered all throughout this map. I believe there are 6 unique builds you can have, 4 being for the wonder weapon, 2 being for Neil and then Neil's upgrade. Neil being the robot that essentially fucks you the whole game with how he just gets in the middle of your way during a train, but he also allows for you to get more tickets. Tickets in this game are huge. They allow you the ability to get certain equipment that you'll need for steps in the Easter egg, as well as different weapons and the ability to revive yourself. Neil is a little bitch though, and don't get it twisted, I don't like him, but it is nice that if you're playing solo, at least you have a buddy with you. There's also the tokens concept, which I found pretty interesting, being 3 tokens, red, green, and blue, all of which have certain combinations that if you add them together, you get different equipments or score streaks. That's going to be really important in endgame, as I believe you need 3 of the same kind of color in an arcade machine in order to unlock the desired weapon or equipment, which adds to the fact that you can't blitz through this. I don't like Easter eggs where they're sped run in about 10 minutes. It doesn't make you want to achieve that. It doesn't make you want to tell the boys, hey, get on. We're playing for 2 hours where we're going to inevitably lose in the boss fight because it's hard as fuck, but at least we just wasted 2 hours having fun together. This new meta where they just throw everything at you in the zombies map, and it's essentially a baby cake walk through it, where you're only doing it lackadaisically and not even caring about it, is very boring to me. It doesn't add for 2 original experiences to a zombies gameplay, because you either have the casual one, where you go through high rounds, you're chopping it up with your friends, not really trying. And then there's the classic Easter egg run, where you're hitting up your boy who somehow memorized all the steps already. You have the other dude who has them pulled up constantly and is referencing them. And then you have me, a little bitch who just asks what I have to do and will end up begging them to do the steps for me, because on this map, I cannot be bothered to remember all of that. I remember trying to beat this Easter egg multiple times, all of which I failed. I always needed to duo with someone who knew more than me, which I guess makes me a lame because I didn't necessarily do it on my own fruition, but hey, sue me. Funny point too is, in the boss fight, there's an alien that spawns. Specifically 1 alien for every member of your team that you have. I was able to glitch this boss fight because my internet was so shit, and all 3 people with me lagged out, and that glitches the boss fight to where the alien stops moving. I don't know if people knew about this or if it's still around, but if you're a baby like me and you're looking for an easy achievement and the ability to just say you've beaten it, definitely don't do this. I'm not saying do this, but if you wanted to do it, you could. I'm not stopping you, but I'm not necessarily endorsing this. Here we have the portal systems. 4 portals scattered throughout the map, all of which you have to enter in order to unlock Pack-a-Punch. This is obviously very derivative of the giant, to where you throw monkeys or you go through the teleporter in order to unlock Pack-a-Punch, but I'm not mad at that. You have to open up power and you have to explore more of the map in order to be able to unlock this. Here, Pack-a-Punch has a reason. It's not just, I get to make my weapon stronger, but it's also, hey, let me explore the map and find out what's going on. They lead you to perks, the cutouts of alien stands where you see your wonder weapons, and a plethora of mini games, all of which are begging to be played because they're actually really fleshed out and extremely fun. This game, I'm not sure when they were introduced, but does not have specialist abilities. Rather, calling cards that give you unique abilities throughout the game. Here I have Nade Party, which allows for regenerative nades, which is really awesome when you have a train, especially gas grenades, because it gives you a shit ton of money. I also just walked by the ATM, which works exactly like how you'd expect it, basically the buried bank system, where you can just easily store away points and are able to blitz through your first speed run of the map. That's nice because there are a lot of paywalls in this map. I believe to get to all of the power boxes in each section, it's minimum 2 doors, which is totaling up to $3,000, and that's a lot of money. Every part of this map feels intentional, whether it's a part for the Easter egg that you have to work on, either being a trap that maybe you have to get a certain amount of kills with, or a good training spot. I really appreciate the fact that not one part of this map feels like it's the part to go to. On a lot of zombies maps, they're known as certain spots. On Giant being the catwalk, on Buried being Jug, so on and so forth. Here, there are multiple places in which are extremely valid for you to play in, which I can appreciate because I don't want every run to be the same. And I feel as if it's almost impossible to have a same run throughout this map. You want to explore it and you want to see what's going on. Now here, instead of dog rounds, we have clown rounds. This was during the craze when clowns were just fucking around in real life, scaring the shit out of people who are too stupid to realize they're probably on the spectrum and just wanted attention. So the fact that they added clowns is pretty cool because they're tapping into pop culture. They're also scary as shit. They fucking maniacally laugh and charge at you, wailing their arms. When I first saw this as a kid, I was fucking frightened. I had to pause the game. And they're not easy whatsoever. They can seriously sneak up on you, and once they start comboing you, you gotta get the fuck out of there. Now here's the big man I just showed. David Hasselhoff. If you don't know, he was a big dude during the 80s. I believe he did Baywatch. Women all over the world were oogling and ogling over him just for his abs and the fact that he represented the existential male perfect. So it's pretty cool that he's in there. Plus, I think he's just a cool guy. He has a pretty charismatic personality throughout this, and he's the boy because he's constantly helping you. This is the arcade portion of the map. This is probably going to be the most important for when you're playing. You can unlock tickets through playing the arcade games, although it is pretty hard because the zombies, they don't stop attacking you once you start a game. If you're shooting hoops or throwing skeet ball, you better fucking believe they're coming for you. Here I get my first down. Like I said, I'm shit at the game, and you're immediately introduced into their self-revive section. It's a nice little pause in the game, where if you have more people with you, they can kind of take a break, maybe finish off the round for you, all the while you're playing a whole different part of the game. Here I fucking absolutely dime that game mode, and they're actually pretty fleshed out too. I didn't realize that you could adjust your power levels, and of course I'm greedy, so I'm going for the 50 bomb. I miss every single one. Could not even hit the giant fucking circle, which is only worth 1 token. Now, it's not a Call of Duty game without some classic Activision arcade games. I don't believe this one works. I tried spamming every button, but it just wouldn't activate for me, which kind of sucks. But it's nice that they added it. Maybe they patch it one day, but I extremely fucking doubt that. Here, I show off my basketball prowess, banking every fucking shot. This is basically how I am in real life. None of my friends can guard me. And I like to say I became a good basketball player by how many times I got down in this map and just putting up shots. LNF, Lost and Found. Once again, sticking with that theme park ride. When you were a kid and you lost the keys to your locker, your dad's fucking pissed, but then the dude at Lost and Found clutches up and is able to give you all your shit back. The worst part of being downed in any zombies game is then having to do the menial blitzing through to get your weapons back or praying that you get something good from the box. It's a huge time sink, and I'm glad that they just cut through and said, you know, man, we know this map's hard, just take your shit back, we don't care. You'll see as I'm tracking back, I'm able to finally turn on the power. Only took me 1 down in 7 rounds, and I activate the next portal, being 2 of 4, and it spawns you right back in the main room, which I like because it doesn't, like I said, speed run it again. It forces you to go back and make a decision. Which route are you taking? Where are you going? You gotta be careful because they spawn extremely fast. I also like how when they spawn, there's a giant red glowing aura. On maps like Town or Transit, It's very hard to see where zombies are spawning, and it can be a pain in the ass in early rounds when you're looking for those last 2 zombies, but you simply can't find them. They make it very obvious here where they're coming from. I turn on this power and I'm able to get Jug, once again being Candy. I forget what it's called. I think at this point, Call of Duty pretty much perfected the perk system and what it looks like. No matter what the perk is, what it does, if it gives you extra health or allows you to take more damage, it's going to be called Jug. There's no escaping that, and it's going to be red. Most perks nowadays aren't even what they're called. It's just the red perk or the green perk. If I ask you right now what the green perk is, everybody's saying stamina. Oh, speed cola. Damn it. Speed cola. That is embarrassing. Stamina up's the orange one, right? Here's a deep cut though. What's the gray perk? There are 2 answers to this. Let me know in the comments. I unlocked the Arctic version of this. This is where the piece de resistance is. The roller coaster. This is a nice little break where you get a shit ton of tickets and it's extremely fun. You know what it also is though? Extremely fucking hard. I don't want a single fucking comment on my accuracy. I am a 1.3 KD Call of Duty veteran, and I will not tolerate any hate. This looks like a fun ride. If this was real life where they somehow allowed you to have a gun in today's America and just shoot targets, all the while real life clowns are trying to chase you, I would have a fucking blast. As a kid, these scared the shit out of me, and I think when I played this as a kid, they scared the shit out of me. Here I'm almost downed in a mini game. That's awesome. You can't just blitz through it. It's not easy. And they really make this a long mini game. I mean, maybe a little too long just because I further embarrass myself as I go through it. I remember when we were first trying to look for the Easter egg in this map, a lot of people thought that there was something to be found in this. Like there was something that we were missing. I'm not sure if there was, but I know it is essential that you play this just because of the amount of tickets it gets you. Now, of course, you can't just hard stuck on this thing and continue to ride it all the while not taking essentially any damage or going through rounds. That'd be kind of stupid, you know? And then here they had the lasers where you're going to take a shit ton of damage if you don't dime those targets. Of course, me, I'm locked in and I do. And 120 tickets. Most game modes or arcade games get you maximum 50 tickets, 80 if you're really good. So at least you have every 3 rounds an ability to unlock a new equipment. There are, I believe, 5 distinct rooms in the Arctic map. I think it's definitely the biggest one, and it further adds to this amusement park theme. Here you have the concessions and the gift shop, which many were a victim to in real life, spending $30 on a hat that realistically called $5. It's just the fact that it had a cool character or IP which you wanted to look cool in front of your friends. Just like that, I've already unlocked Pack-a-Punch. It's only the 8th scene or 8th round, and I've opened almost every door, and now I can upgrade. The starting pistol too is really strong. Definitely a good point gun, and I'm going to train the majority of this round just so I can accrue them. Now, of course, elephant in the room, the Pack-a-Punch system is very much like Kino, where you're over top looking at a theater. But it's still cool because it breaks that barrier between what is a zombies map and what is a film. It's reminding you that this is where it all started, and you get a behind the scenes as to we're not supposed to be here, but we are. Right there, that green box with the 4 insert slots, that's where you unlock certain gemstones that give you the wonder weapon. Like I said, I try to do it, but it's fucking hard. You have to spend about 1,000 tickets to unlock upgrades for certain traps you have to get kills with, and it's not easy. You have to throw a cryo grenade at a certain Arctic monster, of which freezes zombies, then which you have to get headshots for. And then there's the crocodile trap, which you blink out with gold teeth and have to get kills with. And that shit's not easy, man. Here I'm going to the final part of the map. Also, David Hasselhoff, he's not talking to me. Someone tell me how you get me to talk to him. The final part of the map being the equipment room, where all the dirty work goes down. There's essentially no purpose to the equipment room, the back rooms. I'd say it's the weakest part of the map for sure. There is one step, I believe, where you have to use boom boxes and get kills in a certain room with it. Definitely seemed like an afterthought, and there's not much going on down here. That stamina up, which is important but also expensive as fuck, and you do build a wonder weapon here. I've never actually used this room to traverse throughout the map. I much preferred just to go into the front because zombies spawn more predictably. Here you definitely get caught in corners or a little bit lost. Even though there are a bunch of signs, my dumbass is still confused throughout it. I wanted to show you guys the boss fight, but I am definitely not good enough to get to it. So shout out to Spartan 2600. I'll link his channel below. This is him doing a speed run of the boss fight. And essentially here it is. It's one alien, fuck ton of health, and a backpack. The backpack has 3 colors, green, yellow, or red, all correlating to his health. You need to absolutely blitz him with damage. Here's Spartan using a shotgun, pack-a-punch, very smart. He's able to get a bunch of damage on him. You see right there the color changed. Once he has gone from red and he is taking a knee, that's when you have to knife his backpack twice. And that shit's not easy. Not to mention, did you notice a giant fucking UFO over this guy? That thing is constantly shooting beams down at you, which tank half your health. There's also more to this boss fight than just spamming damage. There are portals throughout the starting room, all of which are in front of the opening doors for each part of the map, and you have to sit on them and blitz through the boss. Not the alien, but the giant mechs, the mascots that spawn. And there's like 3 of them, and you have to constantly be standing on that portal. Spartan here just doing a great job of showing you how accessible this boss fight is. Usually nowadays, boss fights don't give you much room, or they spawn you in a whole different part of the map, which is foreign to you, so you don't know where to train. It's kind of a shit show where you end up getting pretty lucky. But here they give you a lot more room. You're able to easily train, and he does this thing in 3 minutes, which is awesome. I wanted to show you guys, it's not fucking sweet around here. 99 wins, 1.3 KD. I was like, you know what? Maybe this game wasn't too bad. Let's play some multiplayer. And I must be a fucking comedian because no one's playing this game. I forgot genuinely how shit the multiplayer was. Just wasn't fun, looked ugly. I tried finding a leaderboards for zombies, but that wasn't there. I don't know if they have it, but I'm on the top of that shit.